A 62-year-old retired government employee and his wife have been held in Rajasthan's Bharatpur for a crime that will shock you. The elderly man is charged with raping his 5 daughters. Believe it or not, backed by the victim's mother, the eldest daughter finally mustered enough courage to speak out against her father when the accused forced himself on his 3-year-old granddaughter. The daughters shared their plight with each other and came together along with their husbands to file a complaint against their parents. In the complaint, the victims detailed how their father exploited them sexually for over 20 years and tortured them whenever they tried to resist. The victim's mother passed it off as tradition. 2 of the girls even went under abortions. The accused has confessed to his crime and remains unrepentant. My colleague Dev Ankur Vadhavan is on the phone line with us, getting us the very latest on this horrific story from Bharatpur. Dev, this is a story that would shock so many in this country. Can you get us the very latest? This man completely unrepentant on what he's done.
Well, absolutely shocking story coming out of Bharatpur district of Rajasthan treaty, and the kind of torture, the kind of brutality that these girls, the daughters of this man had been bearing upon themselves had been going on for years together. And in fact, the most shocking part is that even the mother was complicit. She let the entire torture go on for years together. And that is why both the husband-wife duo have been termed as accused in the case. The wife for cooperating with her husband and letting the entire brutality go on for years together. In fact, 3 of the girls had even been impregnated by their father, and they were and abortion had happened in Agra and Bharatpur on these 3 girls. So clearly, it's after the marriage when the girls went to the police, reported the entire matter, mentioned as to how the father had been committing the atrocities upon them, how he was harassing them, molesting them, in fact, sexually exploiting them for years together. One of the girls also did mention that her daughter was also being molested by her father, and that is when she realized as to how the kind of level the entire thing had gone up to, and that is when she got the courage to approach the police and reported the entire matter. All the 5 girls have mentioned that they were tortured, were sexually exploited by their father, and both the father and the mother are right now in police custody. Preeti?
Dev, what is this man saying? He seems to be completely unrepentant in what he's done.
Well, he's a retired government officer. He was a clerk in the agricultural department. And as you mentioned, the kind of wrongdoings, the kind of exploitation that he had been committing over his own daughters, he seems to be completely unrepentant, and he seems to be a habitual offender of sorts. And so clearly, this is not something which has been a recent phenomenon. He has been doing this for years together. The girls have mentioned that since their childhood, they have been exploited by their father. And even the mother, the most shocking part is that even the mother was knowing the entire wrongdoing. When the girls approached their mother, they were told that this is not something which is abnormal. This kind of a thing can happen. So clearly, the girls went through a lot over the years, and only after their marriage they gathered the courage to approach the police to report.
What was the trigger, Dave? What was the trigger that made all these girls get together, get enough courage, and say that their father was their rapist? What was the trigger?
Well, as I mentioned, Preeti, one of the girls, when she saw that even her daughter was being sexually exploited, she witnessed that firsthand, and thereafter she gathered the courage along with her other sisters to approach the police. In fact, 2 of the girls had initially approached the police and confided into the police that these kind of wrongdoings, these kind of happenings were being was being done even to other sisters of theirs, and that is when the police acted and arrested both. After the girls told them that even their mother did not act upon their complaints, upon their pleadings, that is when the police arrested both the husband-wife duo, and right now both of them are in custody.
You know, Dev, do stay on with us. For viewers who are just joining us, we want to take them through the story that we're reporting from Bharatpur. This story will, in fact, shock you, will make you think on what the society is today. A 62-year-old retired government employee and his wife have been held in Rajasthan's Bharatpur for a crime. The crime that the elderly man that you see on your television screen along with his wife is charged with raping his 5 daughters. Believe it or not, backed by the victim's mother. The eldest daughter finally mustered enough courage to speak out against her father when the accused forced himself on his 3-year-old granddaughter. The daughters shared their plight with each other and came together, along with their husbands, to file a complaint against their parents. In the complaint, the victims detailed how their father exploited them sexually for over 20 years and tortured them whenever they tried to resist. The victim's mother passed it off as tradition. 2 of the girls even underwent abortions. The accused has confessed to his crime and is still unrepentant. My colleague Dev Ankur Vadhavan, talking us through this disturbing piece of news, is on the phone line with us. Dev, the fact is that the mother was a co-conspirator who told them it was tradition.
Well, Preeti, the mother knew all along what was going through, what kind of torture the daughters was going through. But she sided with her husband. She told the daughters that this is not something which is abnormal, that these kind of things do happen. So clearly, the mother was complicit, was involved in the wrongdoing. She did not stop her husband. She did not report the matter to the police, and she could have saved the daughters from the torture all these years. But that did not happen. It was only after the girls got married, they went to different homes. After that, when one of the girls did see that what kind of exploitation, they realized the kind of torturous upbringing they have had, and also the fact that the father had not mended his ways even over the years. The fact that he was forcing himself upon even her daughter's daughter, her granddaughter, that made her realize that she should approach the police, that some kind of repressor should be sought, and that their own parents need to be punished for their wrongdoing.